All right, so I'm here on YouTube, checking out what people saying to this preview to the versus battle. What I'm seeing is a lot of people, they're not really too informed when it comes to this 3-6 Mafia stuff, right? I see everybody's more pro Bone. I've been seeing polls more pro Bone. And I get it. I mean, let me explain why I say I get it. I get it from like both points. But here's what I would say. As a group, collectively, lyrically, I give it somewhat to Bone. But here's the thing. A lot of y'all Bone fans are really sleeping on Lord Infamous and Coop. And Coop's a nigga. And I'm gonna tell you why. Cause I be seeing people say they're more lyrical than the whole group. I'm like, Lord Infamous was one of them rappers, right? One of the best storytellers. One of the best when it comes to the vocab. He had advanced vocab for a dude that but rapping the way he was doing. No, don't mind me. I'm myself on the camera and whatnot. But yeah, big vocab, multiple flows. Can spit the hardcore stuff. Can spit the poetic stuff. Like I'm talking about when he like the advanced vocab with the tongue twisted, which is not easy. By any means, I'm gonna say it's not easy to do that, and he was able to do that. Now, as far as Coop's a nigga is another one. You talk about harmonizing and flowing and rapping. He was doing that in the early '90s with the Devil's Playground. The Devil's Playground CD that dropped in '90. He had the underground tape, and he had a remastered version of that, right? So this was, and then Lloyd kind of did a little bit of the harmonizing, a little bit, not as much as Coop. Coop was like more of the harmonizing guy in the group. But when I hear it, like I'm on YouTube, I'm saying Bone started this sound. What I'm gonna say is that if you want to be correct or politically correct about what's going on, the sound of today's rap is like a mixture of Bone and 3-6. If you want me to be honest with you, it's like a mixture. It's like a big mixture. But what I will say is that as of today, I think 3-6 has a bigger influence on the game because a lot of people are sampling them. A lot of people are rapping a triplet. They're not rapping more of the triplet like Bone's triplet. They rapping more of like the Lord Infamous Memphis triplet, which the Skinny Pimp did, Kingpin Skinny Pimp did, K-Rock did, Tommy Wright III, Koopsta did it a couple times, Endo G did it a couple times, M-Trial did it a couple times. Like a lot of dudes out of Memphis was doing that in the 90s, even early 2000s if you think about it. But yeah, this is something that's known in Memphis, like that triplet sound, and they were doing that. And here's another thing I'm gonna tell you, the misconception when it comes to 3-6 versus Bone. I see a lot of people saying that, they collab with Tupac, they collab with Eazy-E, they collab with Biggie. Yeah, they collab with all those stars because Eazy-E kind of opened that gate for them. Because Eazy-E was part of NWA. So being him that he's part of NWA, which was one of the more successful groups of well-known acts in the 80s leading to the 90s. We're not even gonna say much about the 80s because they had one album that they dropped in the late 80s and Straight Outta Compton, which was a smash. And they had the Niggas for Life, which was pretty dope too. But anyways, them gonna be a more well-known act than anything. So them being from the West Coast, people are gonna gravitate towards that. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna gravitate towards that. And that's that, that's that. And being that Bone at the time, and then this is the height of the East Coast, West Coast rivalry, which I'm gonna talk on as well. This is the heat of the East and West Coast rivalry that was going on in the 90s. You had like the Tupac. It's all started with Tupac and Biggie. But anyways, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But What I will say is that that's why Bone kind of shined the way they did. They looked like they were part of the West Coast, and the beats were kind of like like if you listen to Creeping on the Come Up, and some of East 99, you know, DJ Unique kind of had that West Coast sound on the album with it. You know what I'm saying? Like he had that sound. So that's why they was able to, you know, to outshine 3 6 in the 90s. Now let's talk about 3 6 come up in the 90s, right? They started with underground tapes. Let's start off. I'm gonna take you to the beginnings of everything. They start off at the beginning. They had like the Portrait of the Serial Killer, right? That was Lord Infamous and DJ Paul's first tape. Then it came out with the Serial Killers. I think it came out 91, 90, one of them years. Then, you know, they had the Come With Me to Hell volumes. And we don't even mention the DJ Paul volumes that he did, like volume 1 through 17. DJ Paul and Juicy J had some underground tapes they put out, like Summer Mix, volume 1, the beginning. You know what I'm saying? They had stuff like that they were dropping. Anyway, so yeah, they were dropping that. And yeah, that's basically like the beginnings of everything. And then the whole beginnings of everything was Juicy J had his clique, Backyard Posse, Paul and Lord had their clique of dudes. And that's how the whole 3 6 Mafia came together. 666 Mafia, which was a real name, you know, their original name, I should say, right? That's how everything came together back in like the early 90s, right? So boom, that's how they came about, which is honestly to me, that was their prime to me, was the 90s. That's what, but the people that I see on social media, they all, you know, it's talking about Popping My Collar, Stay Fly. Don't get me wrong, those are good songs. Side to Side, I like those songs too. But their true prime was like from Mystic Styles all the way to I wouldn't say When the Smoke Clears, but When the Smoke Clears when they started going more of the commercial route. So Mystic Styles to World Domination was their prime. The Mystic Styles, you could see it was kind of a jump from the underground to the radio sound, right? Okay, that's where that goes. Now, Bone Thugz, they started off. See, that's what I'm telling you. I'm more knowledgeable than most people that judging on both spectrums. Now, Bone Thugz and Harmony start off as Bone Enterprise, right? Well, this is where you know, a lot of fans got to say, you know, they're versatile, but they started with that dark stuff too. They had a song called Hell Sent, and it was more of like that tape was more of like a gangster rap tape. They weren't really doing I don't know if they was really doing the tongue twisting, but they weren't doing those different topics like the Bone that we hear today. They sounded a little different, you know. And you could tell that the NWA influence was all over that one. Then they did Creeping on the Come Up. And from Creeping on the Come Up is with the sound that we hear from today. Creeping on the Come Up in East 99, which East 99 is arguably their best album they ever put out. Right? So, for me, my personal opinion, I think from like the Bone Enterprise to I say Resurrection, that was them at their prime. You know, that was them at their prime. The other stuff, I heard Art of War 3 was pretty good. You know, I heard that one was pretty good. That was one that didn't drop. That didn't drop because of label issues and whatnot, and some members were missing from that. And that's something that both groups got in common too. As label artists, I mean the group as a whole never was. They did albums together, but the group wasn't as a whole. Like Coops and nigga had legal issues. Like Flesh and Bone had legal issues. So he wasn't in a lot of the albums. Busy Bone had his issues while he wasn't in some albums. So it goes both ways, you know. But what I will say, I prefer 3 6 over Bone. But that's my personal preference, you know. But to each his own, though. But that's my whole take on everything, you know. You know, I'm not really big on was the hits thing. I'm not big on that, but that who sold more than who. I'm more of like, well, if you make good music, you make good music, and that's that. But I do think that it's very comparable to two groups. They both had their cliques. Bone Thugz, 3-6 had Hypnotized Camp, and Prophet and Prophet Posse, and that's a whole nother. And let me tell you something. That whole clique right there, in its own, 3-6 is like a down south Wu-Tang. You got K-Rock, Endo G, Kingpin, Skinny Pimp, Player Fly, Gangsta Black, Nigga Creep, Droopy Drew Dog. That's just some of the people that was in the clique. T-Rock, K-Rock, you know what I'm saying, Scam Man, Akazi. You know what I'm saying? You guys can check this out. You can YouTube this shit, you know what I'm saying? But this is my whole take. I'm not gonna hold y'all talk your heads off, but this is the 10 minutes of me talking about it, or 11 minutes of me talking about this whole tape. But yeah, check out, enjoy the verses later on, man. But yeah, that's my whole take in underground background, my background story of what's going on. Talk to y'all later.